Good morning and welcome to another edition of the House Whisperer Show on WWDB Talk 860. I'm Barry Reisman, inviting you to stay tuned for expert advice about maintaining your house from the roof to the basement. Featuring the guy who knows, professional home inspector Jack Milne. He tells us that every house has a story. He's told us a lot of stories, and he's got more to go. And Jack, I know today is one of your favorite shows and my favorite too. We go into the email box, right?
Yeah, Barry, I love going into it because I don't get a chance all the time to delve into it. You know me, folks. I always try to pull one letter out per show. If I'm interviewing somebody, then I can't jump in at all because it's their time, and I think having a professional on the air deserves every minute I can for that individual. New Year's new news: 3.5% interest rates. Near or under 3% for those 15-year notes for any new buyer. I want you to look into something. Check out 15-year notes instead of 30. Sometimes you might have to put a little bit more down to take advantage of a 15-year mortgage. I'm going to tell you a story, and I live and breathe and sleep this stuff. So, and it's happened to me. Okay, now I'm going to take you to the Wayback Machine. I borrowed $75,000 to build a home in 1985. Now, I was able to pay off the land before I built the home, so my $75,000 were my hard costs, the mortar, the bricks, and the wood. Now, it would have cost me $350,000 to pay back $75,000. So it's going to cost you a few dollars more a month, but at the end of the day, honestly, folks, the bank wins. And as I tell my kids, loans are okay, but you have to figure out what you need to buy and add the loan years to your current age. So, in other words, my son just bought a car. He's got a 5-year note. He's 23 years old. By the time he pays it off, he's 28. A 30-year loan, if you buy a home at 27, you're going to be 57 years old. Now, if you're 27 and you had that 15-year note, you'd have that property paid off by the time you're 42. It's incredible. When I bought my house in 1987, let's see, I'm trying to think how old I was back then. I think I was 32. I had my mortgage paid off by the time I was 47. But I truly learned my lesson with that first loan. The other thing, too, is that with a 30-year loan, it takes you almost 15 years before you're starting to pay on the principal. But, Jack, I can double down. I could do this. I could do that. Yes, you can. And that's fun for about the first year. But when you have a 15-year loan, your interest is done at 7.5 years, and your principal really kicks into gear for the last 7.5 years. So really look into that. And when I bought the house where I reside now, back in 1987, it took me 4 different loan officers to write the note I wanted. So, and I was getting off out of the table when they weren't giving me what I needed. I said, this meeting's over. So there's enough programs out there. And so, take a look around. And, again, if you can see the principal drop, college is starting with your kids. And right now, college, is running about $100,000 for 4 years, which by itself is unbelievable. And that's by today's dollars. So the interest rate is really everything. So before I step off, my stump, I know I got to get back to today's topic, which is it's a new year and we're going to visit the email box. Before we start, of course, I have to thank the sponsors because, as you know, without them, I wouldn't be chatting with you today. So Tri-County Inspection Company, we've been around since 1985. We're going to be celebrating our 30th year in business this year. I'm very excited about that. Visit our website at tcinspect.com. Phone numbers in the Delaware County, I'll do that today, 610-296-2004. North Jersey, 609-882-5188. Bucks and Montgomery counties, 215-295-2030. We are everywhere, and we're here to please you. brainflushgear.com. Simple as that. Again, eclectic wear for any and all occasions. So you can email them at contact@brainflushgear.com. Pest blasters. It's January, but if you're starting to see little mice feces in around the garage or downstairs in the basement, this is their time that they come into the home looking for warmth. So you may want to reach out to them. Pestblaster.com and 215-295-5555. But they also do radon, mold, wood-destroying insect inspections, and pest removal. Burrow Exterminating out of Glenolden, Pennsylvania. Their website, burrowexterminating.com. Termite and radon testing. By the way, folks, I was with Rob the other day, and we did find some active termites in a crawl space. So just because it's cold doesn't mean they go away. So they provided a quote for repair and replacement. Great, great company. Bucksmont Inspections. They serve both Bucks and Montgomery counties, but they also do serve New Jersey with on-site sewage evaluations. They're excellent at their craft. Their website is bucksmontinspections.com, and they're at 215-669-4213. So as always, please let them know that you heard their ad on the House Whisperer Show. And any questions, please let me know your thoughts at thehousewhisperershow@gmail.com. And, of course, previous shows are always available at thehousewhisperershow.com and podcast all day, every day, www.dbam.com. So, Barry, let's open the satchel, and here we go.
I am ready.
Here we go. Gwen from Quakertown. Jack, we're ready to put our house up for sale. It's winter. We understand the market may be slow. What do you think? Well, Gwen, list it now, okay? List it now. There are real estate signs up everywhere at this point, and we have been busy even though it's just past the holidays. In December, we inspected investment properties. We did some new homes. We did some pre-listing inspections. So to me, this market is moving forward. In Ocean City, I listed my mother's primary home before Thanksgiving, and we have received more than 640 Zillow and other internet searches. So, Gwen, in my opinion, use the slow time now. Declutter, please. Consider a pre-listing home inspection. So any flaws are found now so that you and your significant other can fix it or credit to your potential buyer. This way, you've got the funds that are available to make the repairs. As mentioned earlier in the show, interest rates are down. This spring, the market should be strong. So I'm going to ask you again, be prepared, list now, and choose the right realtor. And let's sell your home so you and your family can move forward. So good luck. I wish you the best, Gwen. Next question is Nick from Langhorne. Jack, we use our fireplace about 3 times a week. We're trying to reduce our electric bill since we heat our home with a heat pump. How often should we clean the flue? Nick, great question, because this is the time where everyone wants to utilize their fireplace. So if you burn or use your wood-burning fireplace or stove, I would suggest that you clean and inspect the flue at least twice over the winter season. The first cleaning and evaluation should be done personally in September or October, so you can prepare. And this way, if any small repairs have to be conducted, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, the second cleaning should come about to the mid or end of January. Again, depending on how often you utilize the fireplace and what kind of wood you burn. I get people who burn pine and pallets and all this weird stuff. So you want to burn the appropriate woods. You need the hardwoods. You need your hickory. You need your cherry. You want your oaks. If you burn good wood and not those little logs that you see in the supermarket, your flue should remain clean. Any of these dirty woods, they can leave this creosote or sap, the afterburn, literally, on your terracotta flue liner, metal liner, and what we call the throat or the area above the damper. So If you look up and into your flue and you see the stuff that looks like charcoal, you should have cleaned your chimney long ago. That, folks, is creosote. And as embers emanate from your flame and go up into your liner, these embers can catch the creosote on fire, and you can have literally a chimney fire, which in turn can burn down your house. So, Nick, thanks for your questions, folks. Stay on top of it. If you need to hire a chimney sweeper or a mason, please get referrals. So, Barry, before we kick into our next letter, what do you think we take a quick commercial break?
We'll hear the next email right after this.
To be so hard, now everything is easy.
Boro Exterminating has been specializing in wood-destroying insect inspection and control for over 40 years, serving Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. All inspectors are state certified and ensure providing their clients with professional inspections and treatments. Boro not only performs conventional termite treatments, but also handles special services like historic buildings and homes with wells, creeks, or ponds. The client is assured that all treatments will be performed safely when you hire Boro to do the work. They also provide radon testing in their service area. Boro's full-time office staff is available to help you schedule an appointment. Just call 610-586-5640 or send an email request to boroinspects@verizon.net. That's 610-586-5640 or email at boroinspects@verizon.net.
Specially created t-shirts by BrainFlushGear.com offer the extreme sports enthusiast an opportunity to have a clothing line available that suits their sport. BrainFlushGear.com understands that when we get the moment where we can jump on our motorcycles, wave runners, surfboards, snowmobiles, or skateboards, it can be priceless. They offer custom artwork including silk screening, transfers, and embroidery. Speak to one of their consultants today and they'll help you create your own Brain Flush. Visit BrainFlushGear.com or email them at contact@BrainFlushGear.com.
For your septic inspection and testing needs, please consider Bucksmont Inspections. They've been serving the Bucks and Montgomery County areas for over 15 years. As members of the Pennsylvania Septic Management Association, the Pennsylvania Association of Sewage Enforcement Officers, and the Pennsylvania Association for Professional Soil Scientists, Bucksmont Inspections can inspect your existing septic system or test for your new septic system placement. Please call Rob Bowie at 215-669-4213 and say you heard their ad on the House Whisperer Show.
As the weather gets cooler and the temperatures drop, the bugs might slow down, but the rodents don't stop. Mice and rats begin to invade homes during the fall and winter months, looking for food, warmth, and a comfortable place to nest. Don't wait for pesky rodents to invade your home. Fight back. Have your home baited and ready for their attack with Pest Blaster. Whether preventative or a full-blown infestation, give Pest Blaster a call at 215-295-5555 and they can discuss the solution to your problem. They also offer humane animal removal services for a wide variety of wild animals, damage repairs, and cleanups. Call them today at 215-295-5555 or check them out at pestblaster.com, servicing both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Pest Blaster, 215-295-5555 or pestblaster.com for all your pest control needs.
Tri-County Inspection Company has been providing professional home inspections, commercial inspections, and historic property evaluations for over 25 years. Tri-County Inspection Company covers 13 counties, serving both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. They've performed inspections for over 70,000 clients and are members of the American Society of Home Inspectors, as well as the Pennsylvania Home Inspectors Coalition. They are licensed in both Philadelphia and New Jersey. For all of your real estate transactions, call Tri-County Inspections at 215-295-2030. For their New Jersey clientele, call 856-853-4224. In PA, call 215-295-2030. In New Jersey, 856-853-4224.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house.
And we are back once again. Jack Milne, the House Whisperer, is here at WWDB, and he's got his email box open, and we're ready to go on to the next one. Jack?
Well, thank you, Barry. You know, last month, if I was doing this, I'd be like Santa Claus.
Yeah, right.
Opening up those letters. So, oh, that's great. Well, just a little bit of background. You know, I left a message for Gwen about selling a house in the winter market, and also Nick, you know, to get that fireplace cleaned and safe. And again, anytime you bring a contractor to your home, please get good, solid referrals, because these folks live by referrals. Just as a reminder, please email anything to me at thehousewhisperershow@gmail.com. And then again, you know, as a great resource, if you want to find out anything about anything, you know, I've got about 135 shows so far. So delve back to thehousewhisperershow.com and have some fun listening to previous episodes. Troy from Souderton. We have a finished basement. I've heard on your show about water-actuated sump pumps. Can you explain further? Troy, if you currently have a battery backup sump pump, there's no guarantee as to how long that battery and sump pump combination may work. Now, if you have not put distilled water in the battery cells every 3 months, honestly, Troy, it may not work at all. The battery could be dead, and even on a trickle charger, we don't know how long it may perform once the lights go out. If you have public water, not a well, but public water, you're going to need a 3/4-inch water supply line to be run from your water meter location, folks, after the water meter, I want to make that clear, okay, not before, to your sump pump location. They run about $500, but how it works is through what we call ventricular motion, so that as the public water spins this impeller, it pulls a gallon of your sump pump water at a cost of a gallon of your public water, okay? Now, if you lose power in your home, the pump will only pump out the water to empty the pit. And I've had this question before. Well, Jack, if I lose my power, does this pump work continuously? No. It's still going to have a float on it. So just like your toilet, as you flush the toilet and the ball cock drops to the bottom of the tank, as that water supply begins to fill that toilet tank back up, it lifts the ball cock and shuts off the water supply. It's the same thing with a water-actuated sump pump system. Cost-wise, Troy, about $500. But that's about the same price that you would pay if you had to go to one of the box stores and buy a battery backup sump pump system. Folks, without the battery, you got to go buy a marine-grade battery. So it's about the same price. The downside is if you have a well, you lose power, you have no water supply anyway. So for those folks, get a generator. Get a generator, get a generator. I can't emphasize that one enough. So from what I've seen and heard, these pumps, again, do work well. The satisfaction rate is high. And you know what? $500 is $500, but you're also protecting possibly a $3,000 carpet, unknown costs to repair, replace drywall, paneling, insulation, vapor barriers. So, you know, $500 is cheap insurance or assurance. And speaking of insurance, don't forget to put a sump pump rider on your homeowner's insurance policy. So, Troy, thank you for your question. Next, I've got Rachel from Lawrenceville. Jack, we bought our home last year and settled in August. The home inspector said our water heater was 16 years old and we should budget for replacement. Is his assessment in line, or was he trying to scare us to do it immediately? Well, Rachel, thanks for your question and concerns. A properly trained home inspector is a lot like a general practitioner doctor. We may not specialize in one specific study, but we do know a lot about everything. And most water heaters do have a life expectancy of about 12 to 15 years. So your 16-year water heater is beyond its normal life expectancy at this point. so I believe the inspector was advising you correctly. The budget, you should budget maybe about $800 to $1,000 for an electric water heater, roughly 50 to 80 gallons in capacity, and about $100 to $150 more if it's a gas water heater. So, in my opinion, it's always better to be proactive than reactive, because when a water heater goes, Rachel, it goes. The bottom drops out. And then, again, if you're in a finished basement scenario, the costs get exorbitantly higher if that tank fails and you and your significant other are at work. So if it's held its own for 16 years, I would give it its blessing, and I would tend to let it go. A basement for repair can run between $4,000 and $5,000. So I wouldn't want you to run that risk and potentially damage your home. Okay, moving on. Now we got Tom. Tom is from Norristown, Pennsylvania. He has a low-sloped roof, and he's concerned about winter wear. Jack, I heard something the other day from a neighbor that after it snows, he gets up on his roof and he uses either a shovel or a broom to clear the snow. What do you think? I just had to sit back and just laugh on this one because, Tom, bottom line, never, ever, ever, ever take a shovel on a low-sloped roof to clear the snow. What you do want to clear is the eave box. The eave box is that little drain at the backside of the roof where all your roof water is designed to flow. If you have a tennis ball in that eave box, your low-sloped roof becomes a swimming pool. If you have to do anything to clear a low-sloped roof, I would use a broom. But also keep in mind, you've got to figure out a way to get on top of that roof. So in the snow with a 32-foot ladder, I wouldn't advise it because if that ladder slips out, you're going to be worried more about your personal health than that of your roof. I do remember years ago that one of the local home inspectors, and this is going back 30 years, so I think he's retired, he used to take an ice scraper up on the roof so he could evaluate the roof for the client below. And I just sat back and I shook my head. And Tom, you brought that fond memory back from 30 years ago. So my suggestion is if you have a very good roof membrane, you shouldn't have to do anything with the roof. If you find that you're getting icicles below the eave box where it comes in contact with the downspout, then by all means I want you to visit that roof line. Because if icicles are forming below it, you're not draining. And if you're not draining, the ice flow below that snow pack can damage your roof surface. So, Tom, bottom line, it comes down to that little square box in the corner of your roof line. And if you keep that clear and you have a good roof surface, you shouldn't have any issues. So if you can't remember the last time that you coated your roof, I want you to do it this spring. And just as a reminder, for those of you who have three-ply hot roofs, which is one of the cheaper roofs to put on, you must recoat those roofs every 4 to 5 years. If you have a modified bitumen roof, you can coat those roofs with a silver coating typically every 3 to 5 years, but it's a mop effect or a roller. So it's a lot of things that even, Tom, you could do yourself depending on the roof surface. And again, don't forget your edge flashings, the front and rear of the roof line, and your common wall flashings where your home abuts to a neighbor. So the low-sloped roofs can be a little bit precarious, but again, if the roof is allowed to drain, Tom, you'll do fine. Leave the shovel in the garage. If you need a broom, be careful when you access the roof, and don't slip and slide. We want you to stay on the roof as you work your way towards the back end. If you have electrical lines, Tom, don't go up that side of the roof, especially with an aluminum ladder. The shock will kill you, and I mean that seriously and facetiously. I think I said that word right. Now we got Joe. Okay, Joe's in my backyard. He lives in a community that has cedar shake roofs. Jack, my house is 12 years old. When I had it inspected 2 years ago, my inspector said that a cedar shake roof will not last any more than 15 years. Knowing the size of my home, I'm really afraid to know what a cost of a cedar shake roof would be and what are my other options. So, Joe, your home inspector is right. In this area, cedar shake roofs maybe 13 to 15 years. So if your house was done a couple years ago and you have cupping and curling to your shingles at this point, you're ready for replacement. And it is pricey. Right now, to strip a roof off with cedar, and chances are, I haven't been to your home, but the Cedar Council now allows plywood with felt paper, which unfortunately deteriorates your roof faster. You're looking at anywhere between $500 to $700,000, $700 to put a new cedar shake roof on. So, doing the math, if you're in a 4,000 square foot home, you've got about 40 square of roof surface. So let's be reasonable. At $600 a square, you're looking at easily $24,000 to replace that roof, if not higher. My advice is strip off the cedar, go with a good composite 25-year-old dimensional shingle, and let the cedar stay in the woods. In closing, folks, thank you. I enjoy these shows, so please email me at thehousewhisperershow@gmail.com. And like these folks today, you never know when I may be pulling one out of that deep satchel, and you're going to hear your letter in response on the air. So, as it is Sunday, please spend time with friends and family. And Barry, as always, I look forward to chatting with everyone next week on The House Whisperer.
Absolutely. And tune in again next week for another edition of The House Whisperer Show with Professional Home Inspector Jack Milne. You can listen to previous programs, or if you have any questions, visit thehousewhisperershow.com. This is Barry Reisman. Thank you for listening to WWDB Talk 860.